This is all the gear that I've accumulated and I've taken and I've tried over the last few months. And let's go over it. The pack is the Arc Haul, the Z-Pack's Arc Haul. I covered the name with PATC, which used to be an overseer for the AT years ago. Now I just do, I pitch in and do some trail work with them whenever I can. The only mods I made on this pack is I put on these diaper safety pins. They're good for hanging stuff on that are wet. You want them to dry. And I also modified these hangers by attaching some paracord to the end of them because I had a hard time pulling them to cinch them. I had to pinch my fingers too hard. And it just gives me more grip. And I plan to put my wet tent on the bottom of the pack so I don't have to stuff a wet tent inside the pack. Also carrying GPS. This is the Garmin Mini. Works pretty good. I've tried it. Texting my wife a few times and she gets the messages through my iPhone. I got a little compass, so I know my way back to the trail from the privy. And I got, this is an old Hudson Trail Outfitter thermometer. This is the front pack. I plan to keep my phone there and some snacks in the front pocket. And inside, I have a compactor bag just to keep things dry. I plan to stuff my sleeping bag and all my clothes inside here. Now, all these are the things that I tried and it didn't work for me, or I'm not going to take on my hike. I want to go over those first. Windscreen for the stove, didn't think I needed it. The C-Knock. This thing worked really well, actually. I would hang it off a tree or off a shelter, full, and with this little blue connector, it would hook up to a smart water bottle and would drip and fill the bottle on its own without me having to squeeze anything. But I've decided that it's overkill. Even though it worked great, I'm going to just use this system. 2 smart water bottles with the mini Sawyer, or not the mini, the regular Sawyer squeeze on top of one. And I think those 2 will get me by. If we have another drought, I might consider getting the C-Knock sent back for more carrying capacity, but hopefully we'll have a nice wet winter and it'll be good in the spring. This towel, I decided not to take, even though it works well. I'm going to do all my wiping with 3 bandanas, cotton bandanas. Another thing that I decided not to take is the sit pad. In all the section hikes I've done this year, or gear shakedown hikes, I really never used it all that much. And I've decided to go with Gossamer Gear, really thin, I think it's 1/8 of an inch pad. I plan to use that as a sit pad. It's longer, and also put it underneath my Thermarest torso length pad, blow-up pad. This is a pillow. It's a Trecology pillow. It works fine. And this is a system I use for sleeping. So I got rid of this guy. This is the extra long, 25 inches wide, 72 inches long Thermarest. And it works great, but it's pretty heavy. So I decided to go with the torso one, and it's working fine along with that Gossamer Gear insulated pad. And also I had this big chunk of Tyvek, and I use this in the shelters underneath my pad, trying to protect it from punctures. It's not that heavy, but it's very bulky. Toilet paper. I had a big roll of toilet paper, and I found something else, and I'll tell you about that later. I'm going to bring that. Pen, didn't need it. This is a Sea to Summit liner. It's one of the thicker ones that's supposed to add 15 degrees to your bag. And I ended up not using it at all. These are all the things that, the extra big lighters, don't need them, just have one, it works fine. BRS stove bag, don't need that. And I bought these gloves to protect my hands from the hiking pole straps. But when they get wet, they're a pain to take off and a pain to dry. So I decided my hands are fine without them. So the gear that I'm actually taking with me, rain gear, umbrella, this works really well. It works in the sun too. When it's sunny and hot, it works as a nice shade. For the outer shell, I'm taking the Arc'teryx, and this has been working great, no problems. And for pants, I'm not having pants, but it's kilt. It's like a skirt. Keep the rain off your pants. I'm leaving April 1st, and up in the mountains, it's chilly, as everybody knows, so I'm bringing some warm weather stuff just in case. I got these gloves that they're old. I've had them for ages. Low alpine gloves, and actually they're mitts, and you can stick your hands out of them. If you want to work your iPhone, no problem. And if it's raining, I got the CPAX rain mitts. And they go over nicely over those gloves, keep everything dry. I got a Outdoor Research fleece hat for chilly nights. For nighttime, I got a Long Johns, top and bottom, and these are cold proof. They're 100% merino wool. It should be nice and toasty. For my puffy, I got this Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket, and it's super light and super warm, and it's synthetic, so it should keep you warm even if it gets wet. Shout out to Kona, my trail buddy, for turning me on to this jacket. He has one, and looked really good. For my mid layer for warmth, I got the Melanzana fleece. Shout out to my niece in Colorado who went to Leadville to pick it up. Apparently you can't buy these online, and you have to go in person and buy one. And when she went to get it for me a few months ago, there were only like 3 left in large, which is this size. For hiking, I'm going to wear a synthetic shirt. This is just all dry fit type shirt and a dry fit shorts. These are Nikes, and these have the interior underwear built into them, and I kind of like that because I got chafing on one of my 6-day hikes earlier this year with regular underwear, so these work great. I haven't had any chafing with these, so no underwear coming on this hike. Okay, this is my fanny pack setup. Originally I got this really nice, it's called High Tail Designs fanny pack. And this is a Z-Packs little wallet. Keep some cash and credit card and medical information in there. And this fits back in, get back there, it slides in for extra protection from the weather. And then inside the fanny pack, I plan to keep my knife, my glass holder so they don't slide down my nose. This is insect repellent, picarton. Some medicine, that's Benadryl and some Motrin. I'm gonna probably put more Motrin in there. And Body Glide, and this worked great when I got some chafing earlier this year. One application of that and all the pain went away. And also my tooth care kit. This is gonna go in my food bag over there later. But I got flossing picks and toothpaste. I'm gonna put that over there with my food bag. And also my earbuds go in there. Originally, I had on my pack, on my Z-Packs Arcall, I got 2 hip belts, pockets, and these were it. But I found out that I couldn't open them with one hand because the zipper would get stuck, and it was very awkward, and I had hiking poles in my hands, so it didn't work. So I took them off the hip belt, and I put one on my fanny pack. So I have 2 fanny packs. They sit next to each other, and they're right in front of me. And on this one, I keep my snacks. So anything I'm gonna chew on during the day, I'm going to just keep it in here. No food goes in this guy, so I can keep this one inside my tent. This one comes off real easy, just slides right off. And then I can put it in my bear bag at night, along with the toothpaste and everything else that smells. Oh, this is ear protectors. For all those guys who snore, this goes in my ears. That goes in my fanny pack too. In my other belt pack, I'm going to keep all my electronics. And these are pretty waterproof stuff. So I got the Anker 1200 or 1300 battery. This is a charger with 2 things on it. This cable belongs to Kona, my trail buddy who loaned it to me, and I still got to get it back to you. It's got all the power connectors that you need. I got a real small headlamp, which is fine. I don't plan to use this a lot. And a little sewing kit, nail clippers, and nail file, and some tape, repair tape for the sleeping pad and for the tent. All that goes into the extra, oh here it is, into the extra hip belt bag that I'm going to put inside the bag, inside the pack. This is a buff, comes in handy. These are waterproof socks. They're not sealskins, but the other brand, Dex something, I can't remember. They work well, especially when it's cold. They keep your feet fairly warmer than just wool socks. So I plan to take this early and send them home after it gets warm, and then I'll have 2 darn tough socks to wear on the most of the hike. The bathroom kit, it's inside this bag, and it's the Deuce of Spades trowel. Now this little gem here, this is a culo clean. It actually made me laugh because culo is a vulgar word for ass in Spanish. And it pops right into your smart water bottle, and when you squeeze the water bottle, you get a stream of water shooting out that slot there. So it's a portable bidet, and it cleans you better than toilet paper. And I tried it, and I was surprised it worked as well as it did. So this is going to take the place of a big roll of toilet paper for me. And I have some wet wipes, just in case I lose that sucker. And this is a hand sanitizer, and then some camp soap. This is a pretty bulky camp soap. I'm not going to bring this whole big bottle, but I'll maybe cut that down by a third. This is a head net, and the bugs won't be around in April, but I'll have this sent to me later on when the mosquitoes come out. I'm going to bring this AT guide, the AWOL, but I'm going to leave this at home with my wife, and I'll get the 2020 edition and be able to use it. I don't think I'm going to take the whole thing, but I'll cut out sections that I need and have my wife mail them to me as we go along. Also got the Gut Hooks app on my iPhone, so that's probably what I use the most. Stove. I got a big lighter and the BRS stove, which is works really well. I was surprised. It's only 14 bucks or something, and it's light. Not much to it, but it works. And then I got a can of gas in here. Interesting thing, a little pro tip: when you get, this is a 750 milliliter cup. It fits in there real well, and I just threw it in there at first, and then next time I went to use it, the bottom of this thing was all rusted out. And just titanium. So I didn't think titanium would rust, but it rusts. So you can see the rust on the edge of that gas can. So I went and got a little cloth and put it in there, and that just keeps it nice and snug and keeps it from rusting out my pot. Everything fits nice and snug. I'm still using this little bag for it, but a rubber band around the top would work just as well. I got a long handled titanium spoon. This one's by Sea to Summit. Haven't lost that yet. This is the torso length Neo Air X-Lite. My little pillow. I got some gear pad. I'm going to use Ultra Lone Peaks 4.0s. These guys have been great. I bought I bought 4 of these guys, and I think I've already worn out 2 of them. But the longest I've hiked so far is 15 miles in one day, and no blisters, no pain. You feel the rocks under your feet, but not bad. They don't hurt. It almost feels like you're getting a rock massage or a massage on your feet when you walk with these guys. I really like them. So hopefully they'll make it all the way. For my hiking poles, these are old classics. I bought these maybe 30 years ago. These are old Leckies. They don't even have the snap adjustment. These are just twist adjustments, and they work. Not the lightest ones in the world, but nice and sturdy. I haven't bent them yet. I've tried to bend them a bunch of times, but no rocks have damaged them yet. Tent is a duplex, CPAX duplex. And my stakes, 2 big ones for the poles, and the rest are shepherd's hooks, titanium shepherd hooks. And my sleeping bag is the CPAX Classic bag. This one is the large. It goes up over my head. I can zip it up if it's really cold, and it's only 20-degree bag, but it's working well for me. I like this bag a lot. That's my water system, and my food bag is the Z-Packs. Put my name on it because there's so many bags. Everybody has a bag the same color almost. And last section hike I was in, there were like 5 same color bag in the bear box, and I had a hard time telling which one's mine. I got the rock bag with the line inside, came with it. Also, I didn't like the way the carabiners were hooked to these plastic, really small plastic snaps. And I didn't trust these guys, so I put a little paracord around the webbing on both sides. And when I hang up this bag, I use the carabiners that are both attached to the webbing. It seems like a stronger deal than the that flimsy plastic snap. So I feel better about that. Food. This is going to be interesting. In prepping for this hike, I decided to go on the hike almost a year ago, and I was like 80 pounds overweight. So I went on the keto diet, and I've lost 60 pounds so far. So I weigh around 200 pounds now. I think I weighed 180 in high school. I'm almost 6 feet tall. And the keto diet is working. I'm not advocating keto for everybody because everybody's body is different. I have friends who tried keto and they gained weight instead of lost weight, but my body seemed to like it, responded to it, and I'm going to try to do keto on the trail. Obviously, I won't be able to. My wife will be sending me resupplies off and on, but I'm sure there will be days where I'll have to resupply in town. And kudos to Evan, or E-Wolf, who hiked in 2018. He was the one who started me thinking about doing keto, because he does keto at home, and he tried to maintain as much keto as he could on the trail. Even though he'll sneak a Snickers bar once in a while, I saw in his last video. But it seemed to work for him, and my plan is to maybe lose another 20 pounds to get down to 180, which is my high school weight, but not more than that. And we'll see if it works. This lady here, her name is Gregor. Forgot her first name. I heard about her in Mighty Blue podcast. He interviewed her, and she did keto on the PCT, and she made it to Canada in really good shape. She lost only like 10 pounds. And she came back and started this company called Next Mile Meals. And these guys are really tasty, and they got lots of calories. So I'm going to try as much as I can, get these sent to me. And I'll be doing olive oil added to them just for extra calories. These are tuna. And these guys, this is coffee, black powder. This is not the Black Rifle Company. This is not the best coffee in the world. I like the Via coffee from Starbucks better, but that's all I had right now. And these are electrolytes I want to try. They seem to work pretty good, and they don't taste half bad. They don't leave an aftertaste. And this is about the only, it's keto, but it's 22 grams of carbs. So it's not the best keto in the world, but it sure is sweet tasting after you haven't had sugar for a long time. So I'm going to try this for a while. Salt for extra flavor. And I'll be packing some of these meat sticks, summer sausage, chunk of cheeses. I love that stuff. And a couple trash bags. And last but not least, that red pot here. It's called Little John. I bought this 25 years ago when I went to New Hampshire in the winter, in January, to do a 1-week mountaineering camp in the Whites. And I thought, you know, it'd be good to have something to pee in the middle of the night when it's cold, and not have to get out of my tent. And it works so well that every time I go backpacking, I always bring it with me, even though it's not cold. And it's the older you get, the more you pee at night, so it comes in handy. Funny story on that camping trip, my 19-year-old son Caleb was with me, and while we were outfitting before the trip, I asked him if he wanted a pea pot too. And he goes, "Oh, no, Dad, I don't need a pea pot." So the coldest it got that night was minus 20 degrees at the bottom of Mount Jackson. And we were in a two-man tent, and about 2 in the morning, guess who wanted to borrow my pea pot? And I said, "Sorry, buddy, it's full. You're going to have to go outside." And anyway, I thought that was pretty funny. Older but wiser, right? Anyway, this is my gear list, and I'm going to go ahead and put it all in my backpack and weigh it. And I got a scale up here on the wall, and I'll see how much I come up. All right, base weight without food and water, 15.2. So my pack, with everything in it, 25.4 pounds. That includes 2 liters of water and 5 days worth of food. I have my tent on the outside of the bottom. The fanny packs hanging off there, but I'll be wearing those obviously. And I have my rain gear and my kilt in the back, so I can pack them away when they're wet. The only thing not on there is my phone. So I'm happy with that, 25 pounds, I can do that. Another thing I added to my pack was this little cord, elastic cord, holding these two guys closer together, because the tent wanted to come off the ends of the tent. The tent wasn't long enough. So just this secures it together better, so I don't lose my tent.